So Amazon has a kind of reputation of hosting some of the worst, god-awful, horrific abominations you can think of. A lot of the horror movies that I review on this channel here can be found on Amazon. Things like Killer Sofa, Rubber, Llamageddon, things like that. And many of those are classic, great, horrific bad movies. But a lot of ones are really not. But there are many that are so bad that are completely unwatchable. So here we'll be discussing 10 of the worst horror movies on Amazon. And this is not a definitive list by far. This is not a top 10 worst horror movies on Amazon. These are just some of the worst horror movies on Amazon. And some of these I already discussed on this channel already in other reviews. But they are so bad that they deserve to be on this list. Well, here we go. Number 10, Llamageddon. Yeah, Llamageddon, an alien llama comes to Earth and starts murdering everybody. It's so bad. It's so bad. It really is one of the worst things I have ever seen. The acting is grade A abysmal. It really is. The cinematography, the visuals, the music, everything is horrible. Horrible, grade A horrible. Truly one of the worst masterpieces I have ever seen. And I indulge in it so much, I recommend it if you love horrible disasters like that. It gives me so much joy to be inflicted with so much pain from something like this, from this movie. I absolutely recommend it. If you want the worst acting, the worst cinematography, the worst visuals, the worst visual effects, the worst music, the worst everything you can think of, this is definitely one to check out. Number 9, Killer Sofa. Killer Sofa is also very bad. It has decent visuals, however, not like Llamageddon. Killer Sofa has actually fairly good cinematography. It has a lot of good visuals. The camera angles, the movement, the framing, the composition, a lot of it is pretty good. Not exceptional, but pretty good. But what makes this is an absolutely hysterical concept of the Killer Sofa. Again, the acting is so bad and the dialogue can be so bad. There are so many bad things about this. The best character in this movie truly is the Killer Sofa. It's something where it's like I haven't seen before. There's so much personality in this sofa that this sofa makes the movie. And the best part is that it's not even a sofa, it's a recliner. But anyways, there's a really good part in the movie where the main character is trying to throw matches to the sofa to burn it up, and the sofa keeps blowing it out. It's so hilarious. I recommend it just for that one scene. The story, according to IMDb, is a killer reclining chair becomes infatuated by a girl and starts committing crimes of passion. So yeah, the sofa becomes very enchanted by the girl who owns the sofa and starts going on a crime spree out of passion. It's horrible, but I recommend it. Number 8 is Killer Pinata. Killer Pinata is another movie that's so bad. All these movies deserve to be here because they are so bad. Truly awful. And Killer Pinatas is one that definitely has the honor of being on this list. It's so ridiculous and the acting is so outrageous. It really is. My favorite thing about this whole movie is the main female character, who is an older lady who's like a hunter of possessed pinatas. It's like this older lady that has a hook for her hand, and it's absolutely fantastic. I think it's supposed to be a Cuban lady because she says phrases and words that I would say and my family says. And so when I first saw it, it kind of caught me by surprise because, oh, okay, that's just how it kind of came out of nowhere. I am not the only monster hunter that's Cuban. You know, apparently so is she. So it was just so ridiculous and so asinine that I really enjoyed it. And you see her walking around with the hook for a hand, and then the hook comes up to the screen. It's just so ridiculous. But the story, according to IMDb, is a possessed piñata seeking to avenge the savagery that humanity has inflicted on his kind picks off a group of friends one by one in an unending night of terror. It truly is a terrible movie, and I recommend it. Number 7, Jack Frost. So this is not the Jack Frost that most people grew up with, that holiday movie that's like sentimental but also kind of horrifying in the same way. It's not that one. This is the other Jack Frost. This is a horror Jack Frost, both because it's about a serial killer, but also it's a horror to look at. But anyways, according to IMDb, after an incident that left murderer Jack Frost dead in genetic material, the vengeful killer returns as a murderous snowman to exact his revenge on the man who sent him to be executed. So yeah, so the movie is about serial killer who's about to be executed, but then dies and comes back as Jack Frost and goes around town and causes chaos. And it's bad. It's bad, but it's great. It really is. And so I think it's much better than the other Jack Frost movie. This is a true holiday classic. So this movie definitely deserves to be on your rotation with movies alongside It's a Wonderful Life, A Muppet's Christmas Carol, The Santa Claus, and right after that, Jack Frost, and all the bloody mutilation and carnage that occurs in this movie. It's truly is a holiday classic because it's so terrible, and the acting is so bad, and everything is so bad that it truly belongs on this list. Number 6, Zombievers. This is another one where the premise is so ridiculous that how am I not going to be drawn in to a movie called Zombievers? I mean, seriously. And it's even crazier once you start watching it. But anyways, according to IMDb, a fun weekend turns into madness and horror for a bunch of groupies looking for fun in a beaver-infested swamp. But the crazy thing is that, okay, it's called Zombievers. According to the movie, the beavers are infected with some kind of zombie parasite, and so because of that, it goes and starts attacking people staying at this camp. But it doesn't just start attacking people. The beaver goes to the victims' crotches and starts attacking them there, and that's why it's called Zombievers. Get it? Yeah, that's why. It's so ridiculous. It really is. It's stupid. It's so stupid. And John Mayer makes a cameo as a truck driver, and it's like, what's he doing in a movie of this nature? But he must like it. He must be a fan. He must live for those kinds of movies, because why else is he going to be in this movie? I mean, truly is horrible. But it's so funny, though. The name is, so on the nose. You wouldn't really think about it until actually starts happening, and afterwards, like, oh, yeah, that's why it's called that. And they're not just zombie beavers, But anyways, this one definitely deserves a watch. What makes this one bad is just the concept and the acting. It's so out there, and it's so ridiculous. And it doesn't have bad visuals or anything on the same level as Llamageddon, but it has so many other bad things: the dialogue and the acting and the concept and the premise and the execution. And again, the beavers, they're just so ridiculous. The scenarios are so outrageous and unrealistic that it definitely deserves a watch. And for number 5, it's Carousel. And as the name suggests, it's a carousel from hell. And so according to IMDb, Duke, a carousel unicorn, breaks free of his carnival hell and embarks on a bloody rampage of revenge on humanity. So it's another one of those movies similar to Llamageddon, Killer Pinata, where it looks like it's just made by either like students or 10-year-olds or 10-year-old students or people with no money or people with no money for that are 10-year-old students or just something along those lines, because it looks bad. Like a lot of movies I review, it looks like it's recorded on a phone, which is never a problem. You can record stuff with the phone. I've seen a lot of good films recorded on the phone, but the thing is that you have to at least tweak the basic settings on the phone to make it look nice, or position the phone to have interesting angles, or try to control the light, or if you can't control the light, try to go film outside and during a time where the lighting's ideal. I mean, there are so many things you could do, but nobody does any of those things. It just looks like they got a 99-cent phone, they went out to film and had no consideration or care on anything of how the visuals look. It doesn't cost any money to just frame the phone or the camera in a way that makes it look interesting. Just moving the camera a certain way or away from the sun or in places where you have better light, or it doesn't cost any money to do that. It just has to cost skill. And it just seems like none of these movies do that. The biggest thing with this movie, like many others, is of course the acting and the direction of this movie and the visuals and, well, everything. Everything is garbage. But the biggest thing with these movies are the visuals that look so boring and bland and stupid. But also, just again, the theme, it looks, the acting and the execution, no No say, I don't know. It's just I don't know how it happens like this. They have to realize this is bad, right? I mean, I'm sure they do, yes. But the thing is that it's also bad. Like it's bad on purpose, but bad on accident. Like there are things I point out like, oh, that's bad. And why would they do that? That's a thing that's like bad, that there's no reason for it to be bad. It's not on purpose. It's not like ridiculous acting or whatever, that it could be a personal choice. These are like technically things that are bad. For what reason is this here? Why is this bad? Just because you overlooked it. So anyway, so this movie has a lot of things like that. So because of that, I definitely recommend it. I enjoyed it and I had a good time. And number 4 is The Velasa Pastor. This is another like legendarily bad movie that's famous in all the bad movie like circles. But according to IMDb, the story goes, after losing his parents, a priest travels to China, where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur. I know that's what happens in this movie, but reading the description is just, it's hard to read with a straight face. That allows him to turn into a dinosaur. At first horrified by this new power, even the descriptions are bad. I mean, truly, everything's bad. At first horrified by this new power, a hooker convinces him to use it to fight crime and ninjas. Okay, what can I say? The description already is an abomination. And so what can you expect from a movie with this kind of description and this title? But hey, it's great. I recommend it, even though it has a bunch of stupid things in it and a lot of flaws and everything like many others, maybe more so than others. It's still a fun time. And so, I mean, what are you gonna expect from a movie called The Velasa Pastor and with this kind of description? But anyways, it deserves to be on this list. And for number 3 is Ouija Shark. Ay, Dios mío. Some of these concepts are so far out there, I can never would have imagined anything like this. But according to IMDb, the story is, a group of teenage girls summon an ancient man-eating shark after messing with a spirit board that washes up on the beach. An occult specialist must enter the shark's realm to rid this world of the deadly spirit ghost once and for all. So it but yeah, it's the concepts like where do they get these kind of stories from? Or I mean, they're just so like it's so outrageous. It's like let me just think something off the top of my head. It's like an ancient tortoise from the attic of the neighbor over there eats hot Cheetos and then starts blowing fire hot Cheeto dust into people's faces and they melt. And so now I have to go and hunt down this flaming hot Cheeto tortoise and make sure that it's dead. I mean, who comes up with these kinds of things? Like, it's just things that you come into your mind in like 10 seconds and there you go, you make it a movie. But anyways, the visuals in this are horrific, the acting is horrific, everything is bad, so I definitely recommend watching it. And for number 2 is ThreeHeaded Shark Attack. This is not the only one in this series, but this is the one with the craziest name and the craziest idea and premise. And so, according to IMDb, as a mutated, 3-headed great white shark eats its way from one end of the ship to the next, the passengers have to fight the deadly predator using anything they can find. And so it's just so outrageous. I remember watching, there's this part where they're on the boat and the 3-headed shark comes and starts chomping on the boat and trying to eat the people. And all of a sudden, Danny Trejo, you know, the machete guy and the guy from Spy Kids, he comes in and starts hacking up the shark. And I was like, this is the greatest cinematic moment ever in all of history. Who would have thought we would see Machete against 3-headed shark? And just from purely that moment alone, I had to put on his list as a must-see horrible movie. For number 1 is Rubber. Rubber is one of the more famous bad movies people talk about, but it's actually not horrible. It's just so absurd and so out there that it's one of those insane concept things. It's campy, and you have to watch it. It's fantastic. and it's just so outrageous, and I definitely recommend it. There's a lot of problems with this too. Some of the acting is very bad, like the acting of the main girl, who the tire is like chasing, is very not good, I guess. But it's so ridiculous, and there are so many bad movie kind of tropes and cliches in this, but it's not over the top. But there's also very smart and intelligent kind of like meta humor in it. Like there's a team of people watching the events of Rubber fold out, like if they're part of the audience like us, but then the tire comes and starts killing them. So it's like if the movie is coming out and start killing the audience. It's pretty good. Like I didn't expect that. There's a lot of the meta commentary and humor that is very good, and I think it's very well done. Even though it has a lot of bad movie tropes and cliches, but that's what makes it even better. You have the good stuff and you have the bad stuff, and it's like, well, what more do you need? According to IMDb, the story goes, a homicidal car tire discovering it has destructive psionic. ¿Qué carajo es eso? Okay, let's see here. Everybody and their complicated words. Relating to the practical use of psychic powers or abilities. Then why couldn't I just say it had psychic abilities? I don't know, whatever. Okay, so psionic power sets its sights on a desert town once a mysterious woman becomes its obsession. So anyways, this rubber tire comes to life and starts going around town, and it starts, doing the usual, killing people, whatever, but is obsessed with this girl that's staying at his motel, and the girl becomes like its love interest in a way, in the tire's mind, and the tire goes on rampages to try to be with this woman. So she goes and starts to try to lure the tire out so they can kill it, and it's the whole like scenario and everything, and it's fun. It's really good. Like in the beginning, this guy comes up and everything, his response to everything is no reason. Oh, like, why are you here? Oh, no reason. Oh, why am I here? Oh, no reason. Why is this like this? Oh, no reason. It's just things like that. It's great. It's great. I recommend it, and it definitely deserves to be on this list.
In the Steven Spielberg movie E.T., why is the alien brown? No reason. In Love Story, why did the two characters fall madly in love with each other? No reason. In Oliver Stone's JFK, why is the president suddenly assassinated by some stranger? No reason. In the excellent Chainsaw Massacre by Tobe Hooper, why don't we ever see the characters go to the bathroom or wash their hands like people do in real life? Absolutely no reason. Worse, in The Pianist by Polanski, how come this guy has to hide and live like a bum when he plays the piano so well? Once again, the answer is no reason. I could go on for hours with more examples. The list is endless. You probably never gave it a thought. But all great films, without exception, contain an important element of no reason.
Well, anyway, so that's about it. And again, this is not a definitive list, and this is not a list that's supposed to be rating it in order. This is not the top 10 worst movies on Amazon. These are just 10 of some of the worst movies on Amazon. Amazon has a plethora of horrible movies that I would love to get to, and it's my goal and my destiny to watch as many as I can on it and on any other platform too. There's just so much quality there. Me encanta. I can't contain my excitement because of how much there is to watch there and how awful it truly is. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to guide you and to your journey and to the worst abominations you can think of. I hope you found this list interesting, and it helps guide you in your way to watching some of the best masterpieces you can think of. Well, that's about it, and I'll see you later.